We originally started by selling vintage and antique product. And over the years, we've expanded into many more types of design categories. And our most recent expansion has been into the NFT space, as we're talking about today.
Hi, and welcome to The Financial Fox, investing and innovation ideas with a twist. I'm your host, Steffy B, and in this episode, I will be joined by Sarah Liebel, Chief Revenue Officer at 1stDibs, an online marketplace which sells luxury items such as high-end furniture for interior design, fine art, and jewellery. 1stDibs has also recently launched a new NFT marketplace to respond to the rapidly growing market for digital artwork. But it's not just art. There is the furniture, high-end furniture, which is really interesting to me. So let's speak to Sarah to find out more. But before we go into the episode, I want to talk to you about my new crypto web domain, financialfox.crypto, which I got it from Unstoppable Domain that is creating a new generation of web domains, which are actually domain name on a blockchain. So you buy them once and they are yours forever and you don't have to worry about your renewable fees anymore. Also, they are decentralized, so no one can take them down or hack your data. So they're only yours. And in addition, they are effectively domain NFTs, so you can trade them and make money once the decentralized web will be taking over the internet. The cool thing is that they can really make crypto payments so easy because you can add your wallet address to your web domain address and forget about it. So when you need to get paid, you just give your crypto web domain for payments and voila, the money comes into your wallet. So if you want to check them out, go to Unstoppable Domain using the link in the description, which is also helping our channel. And if you want to do a little bit more because you like the work we are doing and you want to make a donation, then you can do so on using financialfox.crypto and you can donate in Ethereum, Bitcoin, or USDC. And that will be super appreciated. But let's get into the episode. Hi, Sarah, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm really excited to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's great to meet you and great to be on the show.
So let's talk about NFTs and obviously luxury items, collectibles, high-end furniture, which is something that not many are talking about because it's mainly, art pieces. Now there is a lot, many talks about fashion, but, collectibles is really a wide range of product. And I'm really excited to have this conversation today. So if we start maybe with you just giving some background about yourself and also about 1stDibs, that would be great.
Sure. So my name is Sarah Liebel. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at 1stDibs. I've been at the company for about 6 years, and I've spent, the majority of my career in marketplaces. And it's really been an exciting time at 1stDibs in the last 3 months when we've launched the NFT space. And 1stDibs at large, really, we are a marketplace that's focused on design. We originally started by selling vintage and antique product. We're replicating the Parisian flea market and bringing a global audience to the vintage and antique supply that was there. And over the years, we've expanded into many more types of design categories, such as broad furniture, including new and custom pieces, fashion items and jewelry items. And our most recent expansion has been into the NFT space, as we're talking about today.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it seems like a natural progression because if I understand correctly, 1stDibs is actually an online marketplace. So where kind of like the luxury furniture, collectibles hasn't really started as an online. It's more like, very particular shops. They sell antiques where you started immediately as an e-commerce site and obviously it seems like a natural progression now. The NFT space, the crypto space is booming to kind of go that way, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. We are, as you mentioned, e-commerce. We're a digital first company, and we've really been there to bring, an audience to goods that a global audience to a global supply base. And as we've seen the digital landscape grow, so have we, and we've evolved our platform and the categories and the products that we sell, as the industry has evolved at large, and NFTs is the most recent expansion.
Okay, so let's maybe talk a bit about the launch when the platform has been launched and actually how it works on the site, what people can see, these kind of things.
Sure. So we launched August 11th. And the platform, we launched in an exhibition format. So we launched with a curated exhibition. It was curated by a digital artist named Metageist, who is, global, has a global following. And he curated a group of artists for us who listed their products on the platform. Our customers are able to bid on in an auction style format, which was new for 1stDibs. Once the NFTs are listed, the exhibitions will be launching every 2 weeks, is our current forecast that we've been doing. And we've been launching exhibitions, as I mentioned. The first was an artist curated, because we're really leaning into, the people who know the digital community, the digital art community the best, who are we think are the best curators of what is high quality digital art. And so that was our first launch. We will also be doing exhibitions that are solo artists, and we will be doing, experimenting with different types of exhibitions over time.
So it's basically like an exhibition platform, and those exhibitions, they change every 2 weeks and they've got different themes. Is that right?
Exactly. And the products, so the art will still live live if it post exhibition, if it hasn't transacted. So we have both a marketplace component and an exhibition component to our platform.
Okay. And in terms of collectibles, you mentioned about digital art being the first one. What about, for instance, high-end furniture and jewelry? And what is your plan there, and how do you reach out to the artist?
Yeah. So from how they could leverage NFTs, or just in general? Yeah. So, we've started with the digital art, as our first kind of entree into NFTs, because it was really natural progression. I do think there's a lot of applications for leveraging NFTs across our other categories over time. And we haven't seen a ton of, as you mentioned earlier, commercialization of it within the furniture category, but there's ways to do it from a collectibles component. There's opportunities to leverage NFTs for authentication of the actual goods themselves. But right now our first entry, again, this is just, we've only been live since August, has been focused on digital art. And then we'll continue to evaluate from there which categories make sense.
Well, listen, I was at, I think was the first London NFT art exhibition, like just a couple of weeks ago. And there was a queue that you won't imagine. It was crazy. There were even after a couple of hours of the launch, there was still a queue out there. And, I was going out and there were like 300 meters of people just queuing to go in and check it out. So I think the demand, the curiosity is quite hype there. So I can definitely see that you are getting lots of requests, but I'm kind of curious to explore a little bit more about the furniture, because you mentioned about authentication. Okay, collectibles, we understand that, that's easy. Authentication is very, very important because also you can see the journey and the provenance of the piece, which, it can also add a lot to the value. Yeah. And then there is the metaverse, where ultimately we're going to be able to do the interior designing of our art. Maybe. What's your thought about this kind of use case?
I think it's a really interesting use case, and whether you call it a collectible or digital art or furniture, kind of the application's the same. The motivation for the buyer who's engaging is for self-expression, and whether that be in the physical world or in the digital world, I think it applies to both. And as you touched on, with the metaverse, I think there's a lot of applications of how we can leverage some of what we're doing with the furniture and some of the relationships we have with major brands and with historical estates to be able to create potentially NFTs that could be utilized there. I think we're really in the early innings of what's happening with NFTs application to collectibles in general. And that, we're super excited to see how they can be applied to the categories that we work in today, as well as other categories that our customers are craving.
Definitely. And also, as 1stDibs is much a larger company, you will have the opportunity to kind of leverage on your network, on your clients, on your partners to kind of roll out the NFT marketplace that now is just get started.
Yeah. And we really see, a white space in the NFT world where 1stDibs for over 20 years now, we just celebrated our 21st anniversary, believe it or not. Has stood for curation and quality. And, that's what we're really excited to bring to the NFT market across any of the categories and collectibles that end up manifesting in a digital format or leveraging NFTs. As I mentioned, in the digital art, we're starting with utilizing people in the community who are looked at as thought leaders to be curating some of our exhibitions. But going forward for all of these categories, we see 1stDibs as being able to play in a place of curation.
So tell me a little bit more about this involvement of the community, because it's quite interesting. So how are you working with the curators and how they get involved in the process?
Yeah, so we have both internal and external experts working on our NFT initiatives. So our first exhibition we launched, as I mentioned, was a gentleman named Monetising who curated that collection for us. And he rounded up the artist that would be exhibiting in that exhibition. He was responsible for thinking through what the overall theme would be, and was just really instrumental in bringing together a sense of community and bringing the message that 1stDibs was trying to get across around curation and quality and supporting artists to the broader NFT community. And we also have folks in-house who are digital artists themselves or have been really active within the digital art and NFT community. Interestingly, actually, our VP of engineering, who has built this whole platform ourselves, we've built our own technology to power this. He was a digital artist and has always been a digital artist and is really passionate and has been an internal champion for this initiative at 1stDibs as well.
Wow, very interesting. So what they do, basically, people come to you with a proposal for curating an exhibition. They make suggestion on the artist.
Yeah, some of it, we do a lot of outreach on our own. We have our own, a Discord server and Twitter account, and we're active. We have community managers on staff who are really just engaging with the community, seeing art that we are interested in, seeing people who are, whether they're putting shows together or just supportive and understanding what's going on in the market. And we think really represent quality and look to them to proactively to work with our platform.
I like that. It's kind of like a very innovative approach rather than what other, for instance, art gallery are doing, which is very traditional, using social media on Discord. I kind of like that. So talking about the platform, I know you are not the technical developer, so I don't want to go too much deep into, but is it like based on Ethereum or?
It is. Okay. Yeah. We the buying process was basically designed it's native to the blockchain. We are leveraging Ethereum cryptocurrency, and it's accessed through a MetaMask wallet that collectors can connect and can showcase the NFTs that they purchase through.
Can people buy NFT with fiat?
Not today.
Not today. So they have to basically get into the crypto, embrace crypto if they want to participate in this new marketplace.
today. And, as I mentioned, we're 2 months into this at the moment. What we're seeing, not even actually 2 months in, a month in, what we're seeing is it's really exciting. It's bringing a whole new audience to 1stDibs in terms of the buyers who are, your traditional crypto buyers who may not have been familiar with 1stDibs before, but are engaging with those other community aspects that I mentioned, whether it's our Discord channel or Twitter, or have relationships with the artists themselves that we're showcasing. So it's, step one in a long investment in NFT.
Okay, something that I wanted to mention is that 1stDibs is also a listed company, so which is quite interesting. It's a very good thing as well, because it's kind of like embracing innovation in a kind of traditional world. So I know you can't share much on. Obviously, the revenue generated by the platform, particularly because you have just started as well. But can you maybe give me some feedback on how it's been perceived, if people liked it, what is kind of the engagement there?
Yeah, we've been blown away by the response from the community. Our first exhibition, all of the artists in the first launch we had a sale. We've been able to get great feedback from the artist community, from the buyers community, and we've been able to sell pieces, at pretty high price points as well in that first exhibition. So we're really enthusiastic. We have a long list of people excited to work with us, and we can't wait to just continue to scale this business.
Okay, so talking about artists, obviously NFTs offer a great opportunity for our artists to monetize their work, a way that was not available before. They are for a digital art, which has never been considered so valuable until blockchain and NFT came in. What's the relationship that you have with the artists, and also how do you manage them in terms of monetization of the platform? Do you take a cut out of the sales? How that works?
Yeah. Like you said, NFTs have been a game changer for digital artists. It's the first time that they can we hear oftentimes from the artists that we're working with, it's the first time they've been able to make a living off of what they're passionate about, which is digital art. And that's really just because that NFT itself is attached to the image, which is creating the inherent value, proving the uniqueness and the authenticity. So the artists, and then additionally, artists for the first time are able to participate in the appreciation of the work as well, which is really, exciting with getting to be able to participate in the secondary sales, which, we participate the similar way to most platforms where we take a commission. We're one of the lowest commissions within the industry. We're really, focusing on kind of artist first approach to how we're doing things.
What about intellectual property right? How do we are dealing with that?
Yeah. So we actually, the buyer does not own the underlying intellectual property rights of any of the pieces that they're purchasing. They have the ability to sell or buy the NFT that they're purchasing, but they don't have commercial rights to use it. So they can't, take that NFT and put it on a t-shirt and resell it.
But they could perhaps use it in a metaverse, isn't it?
Yes, just not in a commercial sense. So they can sell the NFT itself, but they can't utilize the underlying image and artwork for commercial purposes. Okay.
It is quite a complicated issue. I think there is a lot of still areas that are not really very much understood, particularly because NFTs are not regulated. So it's important to keep it as collectibles. But though I'm quite excited about all this metaverse idea, because really, there are many events that now, for instance, are done in the metaverse. So you could perhaps have your own lamp, your own piece of art, your own chair, your table. I think it just sounds so cool, It's quite primitive at the moment, the metaverse environment, but surely they are going to develop, and all these kind of collectibles, they have to be shown somewhere.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's what we're so excited. This is so early in the innings of the applications of NFTs to collectibles. I think the metaverse overall ecosystem is going to continue to grow, as well as the ecosystem around how to display digital assets. And you talked about kind of who the buyer is today. I think the buyer is still very much a kind of crypto native buyer who understands, even, has an application of the metaverse that they could utilize utilize the art for. But over time, we're going to see, I believe, expansion into ecosystems that build out applications for the more mass consumer. So whether that be places to, digital displays in the home, or whether that be easier access to, the metaverse and making that a more commercially minded mass experience for people. To me, that's what's really exciting. I think will happen in the next, few years.
So let's talk a bit about the value of digital art and digital collectibles, because sometimes we see items, they are sold on, as an NFT much more than actually the real item in our world. What's the value of digital collectibles?
Yeah, I think it's very similar to art. It's on an individual basis to really assess the value of it, and it's how they, they're the purchaser's kind of form of self-expression and how they value that. I think in a very practical sense, the value of an NFT, on our platform, it's set by the artist, and I think what's also interesting with the NFTs versus digital art, another interesting element of the value is you now have a way to be able to create more inherent value in that print or in that that digital asset itself by being able to prove the uniqueness of the piece and the exclusivity into the piece.
There is something else that I want you to comment on, because it's a very important aspect, which is the secondary market that we don't talk much, because everybody is talking about, oh, this is cool, I'm just going to buy it. But really what NFTs brought, and the ability to actually certificate and validate authenticity and ownership, is a much more healthier, actually secondary market. Do you maybe want to spend a couple of words on, let me know your thought, and what do you think blockchain and NFTs has brought to the second-hand marketplace?
Yeah, I think, as an artist, that's the one of the most exciting parts of what the NFT technology, the blockchain technology and NFTs can do for their digital assets, is it's allowing them to be able to appreciate in those secondary sales over time. There's plenty of artists who've sold pieces for $1,000, and years later you can have a exponential price on that piece. And the ability to participate and have a commission on secondary sales as part of your smart contract is a great way for digital artists to continue to make a living and be able to participate in the appreciation.
So do you think the secondary market is going to become bigger over time? We are seeing already that with fashion that is increasing a lot. And what I'm kind of trying to understand, do you think it's going to grow much more than the primary market?
I don't know if it'll grow more or less per se, but I think from a pure supply point of view, it'll definitely continue to compound. The more new inventory that's coming into the primary market, to the extent that, it's still available on the secondary market, it's just going to continue to grow from a supply point of view. And I do believe that the broad consumer base for NFTs is going to continue to expand as well. So, both of those things, if the supply is going to grow and the overall demand is going to grow, I think both the primary and the secondary market are going to benefit from the growth on both sides of the marketplace. And
does 1stDibs welcome or accept secondhand pieces?
So, currently, no. Again, we really tried to get to market as quick as possible with our with what we get to market as quick as possible. So we're continuing to work and develop additional features, whether it be fiat, whether it be supporting secondary market, in the coming months.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think there is a lot to work on. Do you maybe want to finally give me your thought on the evolution of digital art, collectibles, where you think things are going?
I think, collectibles and digital art, to me, this is, we're in as I mentioned before, like the very early innings of what I think, digital art growth will be able to be with leveraging NFTs. I think it's just a natural extension of digital art and the art category in general. And I think as the ecosystem of how to enjoy that art continues to grow, whether that be in a physical or in a digital medium, like as we talked about the metaverse, or whether it be, at home in a digital display, I think it'll just continue to evolve it'll continue to grow both the supply as well as the buyer base who can understand, the real practical applications of digital art, which I think is interesting. There's a barrier sometimes to more of the mass consumer to understand tangibly who isn't participating in the metaverse and who isn't participating and having a crypto wallet and is purchasing in fiat, doesn't necessarily understand the tangible applications to it. And I think as we build out that ecosystem, digital art is just going to continue to get to be a bigger and bigger part of the art industry at large.
Fantastic. So for anybody that would be interested in maybe any artist that would like to get in touch with you, where is the best place for them to get in touch with 1stDibs? Would be
within our social channels, NFT, our Twitter NFT channel, 1stDibs, and then also within our Discord server would be a great place to reach out to us.
Okay. And in terms of any kind of corporate update, when do you think it will be possible to hear something officially from the company?
About our progress on NFTs, or if you're applying to be part of our NFT?
No, I'm just saying about corporate from maybe an unofficial update on the NFT marketplace.
I would say probably in the next few months.
Okay, sounds good. I'm excited.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for your interest in what we're doing with NFTs. Like I said, I think it's really exciting. We're filling a space on the market that's not met today, from a curatorial and supporting, artist first approach to how we think about this, which is in line with what 1stDibs has done for 21 years. Okay. So thank you.
I think it's very exciting because first of all, you are embracing a market which is a natural evolution of the online marketplace. Secondly, you are engaging with your community, and this is brilliant. And obviously, then there is all the relationship with new artists, empowering them. That's also great. And also the fact that 1stDibs is a listed company. I mean, I think that it's a public company, and there are not many. They are actually entering the crypto space because it's crypto. Just not so bad, really. That's the future. So I think it's a bold move, and I'm definitely going to be watching out, on the development. And I suggest everybody should check you out.
We appreciate that, and hopefully we'll have more to share with you guys very soon.
Exactly. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Fine. We arrive at the end of another interview that I really hope that you enjoy. What I thought was great is that a public listed company is embracing NFTs and is trying to find different ways to engage with the community, with artists, and using the latest technology. I think that is brilliant. So I'm looking forward to see what 1stDibs is going to bring to digital art, but also high-end furniture, jewelry, and perhaps they will have more fashion as well. I will see you next time.